Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw. Welcome back to another topic video. Today's topic is metal albums I recommend you check out. So basically in this video, I'm going to go through a list of albums that I own that I recommend that you check out. Also in the description will be more albums that I do not own that I do recommend you check out. So basically in the comment section below or in a video response, you're going to basically tell me albums you recommend to me or people who are watching this video. So basically, if you just want to comment a list, or if you're an album reviewer and you want to make a video response, go right ahead. I can't wait to see either way what albums you recommend me or other people to check out, because maybe we'll all discover something new. Anyways, let's go through the list of my stuff and also check the description for more albums that I recommend that I do not own. So sorry in advance for the glare, because it's going to happen. So I'm going to try my best to keep the glare off because of my phone. So the first album I recommend is Dissection, Storm of the Lights, Bane. This is a type of black metal / melodic type metal album. Dissection is pretty well known in the community for a band that was kind of satanic, and there was some controversy with a couple of the band members and stuff like that. But overall, you know, I try to ignore that stuff, and basically this album alone, just Dissection, Storm of the Lights, Bane, is definitely an album that I was kind of surprised with. I love the artwork. That's just beautiful artwork right there. But I just love the music inside. There's some black metal stuff. I'm not really a huge fan of black metal, but at the same time, I love the melodic guitar solos. I love the aggressive technical riffs. I just love everything about this album. So I definitely recommend checking out this album if you haven't already. So there's the first one. Let's go to the next one, which this is a band that has gotten some recognition from their 2013 release, but this is the release before that. Scale the Summit, The Collective. This is an amazing, amazing release. I just instantly fell in love with songs like Colossal, Whales, The Levitated Gallows, and Black Hills, and Drifting Figures. This is just an amazing record. Beautiful instrumental metal. There's some beautiful guitar work. There's some insane drumming, some amazing bass work, and overall just the amazing sound that came from this album. And just beautiful artwork as well. So I definitely recommend any album from Scale the Summit, but I definitely recommend The Collective. If you've heard the 2013, The Migration, definitely look back and look at The Collective for sure, and their past releases as well. The next album we're going to talk about is an album that I just recently reviewed, and it was my last review. The Faceless Planetary Duality. Just wanted to throw it in real quick. Definitely an amazing album. If you saw my review, like I said, I recommended it to the full extent, but this is just an album that I just can't get over. It's just an amazing, amazing album, and that artwork alone, it's just really pulled me in to go, what is this? And I just instantly fell in love with this album when I was first introduced to it, but just wanted to throw it in there, so like I said, still recommend that album. The next album we're going to talk about is a follow-up to an amazing release from a band that I didn't really think that, I don't personally believe this album topped their 2007 release, but this definitely was an album worth checking out, and that is The Great Misdirect, From Between the Buried and Me. That's pretty interesting artwork, and like I said, this album, in my personal opinion, didn't top Colors. They were trying to outdo Colors, but in my personal opinion, they didn't. But what really pulled me in is that the intro Mirrors was really cool, and it was very mystical and stuff like that. It was kind of different than the opening for Colors. Fossil Genera, A Feed from Cloud Mountain is just an interesting track alone, and I actually heard this album live in its entirety for the first time on October 31st, 2009. I have a poster up there of the show on Halloween. But what I really enjoyed is Desert of Song, because that song is not necessarily really heavy, but it's very acoustic guitar driven, a lot of acoustic guitar work. And Swim to the Moon, track number 6. There's only 6 tracks, but Swim to the Moon clocks in at 17 minutes and 54 seconds. That is a lot of music from just one band. That's just a lot of music in one song, let alone the entire album. But this is definitely an album that I do recommend if you've heard of Between the Buried and Me, and you've heard of Colors or the Parallax 2 or the EP Parallax Hypersleep Dialogues. So, Great Misdirect, I definitely recommend that album. Another follow-up to another amazing album from 2007, this band, Black Dahlia Murder, Deflorate. Nocturnal is an album that's well known from a lot of people. A lot of people know about that album, but a lot of people that have heard of Nocturnal have not heard of Deflorate, the follow-up to it. This is just an album that is basically the right way to follow up Nocturnal. It does go in some new directions, but they also like to stick to the same formula. And this album does contain some amazing tracks like Black Valor, I hope I'm saying that right, Necropolis, Death Panorama, Eyes of a Thousand, that which crows the most tender of things. Sorry, I'm trying to read this like it's a kind of a different type of writing. You probably can't see that. And one of my favorite tracks from the band, I Will Return. I definitely recommend Deflorate if you've not heard this album. And interesting artwork, but I do recommend this album if you haven't heard it, because I know a lot of people have heard Nocturnal, but not the follow-up. I kind of said that before as I was doing the showing the actual album when I did a CD update, but like I said, I recommend it. Now, this is an album, I think a lot of people have heard this album or have heard of this band, but I just want to throw this in there. Just wanted to throw it into the mix. Opeth, Blackwater Park. This is my favorite album from the band, and I've been trying to get into more of Opeth, but this is just an album that blew me away, and I love the artwork. It's just amazing. But the actual music inside is just something to really just dive in for yourself, because it's just a beautiful piece of music. It's a beautiful way to really get introduced to this band. I think this is the album that you should be introduced to this band if you've not heard them. But I just wanted to recommend Blackwater Park if you've not heard it, or if you have heard of Opeth but have not really gotten to this album. I recommend this album to the full extent. And like I said, you got to experience it for yourself, because there's so much stuff within this album that literally listening to one or two tracks from this album is not going to do you justice at all. So please check out Blackwater Park if you have not. This is a later album from the band, but I do recommend this album because it really blew me away, and I enjoy the music behind it, and it is the last album to feature the drummer before they left, and that is Dream Theater, Black Clouds, and Silver Linings. This is the final album from Mike Portnoy to be on the drums before he left. This album opens up with a crazy opener, A Nightmare to Remember, 16 minutes and 10 seconds, and The Count of Tuscany closes with 19 minutes and 16 seconds. 6 tracks, a bunch of tracks clock in over 10 minutes in length. There's only 2 tracks that clock in under 10 minutes. But this is just an album that, to a lot of Dream Theater fans, they probably love this album and enjoy it, but probably to people that have gotten into their earlier work, like before the 2000s and stuff like that, have probably not really gotten into their 2000s stuff. But I do recommend Black Clouds and Silver Linings. It contains a bunch of beautiful sections, a bunch of heavy sections, and like I said, it's the final appearance from Mike Portnoy on drums. So, like I said, I recommend this album. So, the final album we're going to talk about is just an album. It's just my favorite album from the band, and I just want to recommend it because I know some people have probably not heard their stuff. They've probably heard of some of their stuff, but probably not have heard a whole album. But anyways, continuing on. The last album, Protest the Hero, Scurrilous. Amazing artwork from Maurice's grandfather. That the title of the artwork was Scurrilous. That's why they named it the album Scurrilous. My favorite album from the band. I reviewed it when I did their discography. Still is my favorite album. It's even after Volition that came out last year, 2013. Still my favorite album. This album contains a bunch of songs that are my personal favorite tracks from the band, so I got to give that. But I do recommend any album from Protest the Hero. But if I had to pick one that I recommend that you especially check out, it's Scurrilous, because it just contains some beautiful guitar work, amazing vocals from Rhodey, and overall just the sound of the band and the musical stuff that's coming out of them from this album. Definitely something to look into. So, anyways, there's that. So those are the albums that I recommend. Of course, check the description for more albums that I do recommend that I do not own, and all that good stuff. So make sure you comment down below and let me know some albums that you recommend. And also, if you're an album reviewer, if you want to make a video response, go right ahead. I'm excited to see either way. So thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.